Oh, awesome. All right. Let me just hit that continue button real quick. Sorry.
They can see the wonderful setup you have.
Yes, yes. This is the perfect chance for you to see. This is what part of what we're making today. Some fun patriotic decor for the summer, along with these fun little utensil holders right here, and some little favor boxes right here, as well as cupcake wraps and cupcake toppers. So, and I'm really excited to share this class with you because these are some pretty amazing tools that are going to allow us to make this whole setup really easy. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Allie Dassel, and I work for We Are Memory Keepers. They are one of the brands of the company American Crafts. I have been working for them for over 10 years, and it's been a joy. I absolutely love this company because they truly strive for innovation in the craft industry. Their whole goal is to find the gaps and the holes, what's not available to crafters that would make crafting easier and more fun, and they try to fill in those gaps. So it's been just a joy to work with them. So we actually do have a free template for today, and Lindsay is adding that link to the chat, so you can go and click on that link and download that PDF template. It's for making the barn stars that are on the sign behind me. So that's free for you. And just a quick background, tell me where you're from. I'm from Utah. Hop in the chat and just tell me hello from wherever you are. And I live near Salt Lake City, up by the mountains. I've been married to my husband for almost 25 years, and we have 5 kids, and we love it here in Utah. And I've been crafting pretty much my whole life. So hello from Idaho. Hi, just north of us. Great to have you here. So we have, let's see, Orlando, Florida. Hi, Rachel. I missed one and I feel bad. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. From Washington, Missouri. Welcome from Missouri. Awesome. It's probably getting hot and sticky back there. Huh? We're about to have 115-degree temperatures this weekend, which is nuts for Utah this time of year. So anyway, everyone's, I think, kind of hot. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome. Good to have you here. Well, I'm so excited. I'll be watching questions, and Lindsay's going to kind of watch those questions too. If I don't see something that I need to address during the class, we'll make sure you can get your questions answered. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and have Lindsay switch over to the overhead camera so you can see, and we're going to talk about the supplies that we're going to use for this class. So we're going to use a few We Are Memory Keepers tools. This is the alphabet punch board, and this allows you to punch those big gold letters you saw that said USA, and you can do any letter of the alphabet plus numbers and a few punctuation marks. So it's a great tool to have if you'd like to do party decor. This is the Works All-in-One tool, and it's actually missing a piece. This actually comes up here, and this is your stamping platform, but we're not going to use that today. But if you've ever heard of our precision press stamping platform, this is the same technology, and it magnetizes down and allows you to stamp exactly in the same spot repeatedly. So if you have like a bulk project, or if you accidentally, like I do this occasionally, where I just miss a little bit of that, image that I'm stamping, and you need to re-stamp it, this puts it right back in the same spot. So it's really handy to have. In addition to stamping, this tool will cut, score, make envelopes, banners, tags, file tabs. You can make perfect bows. You can make pom-poms, tassels, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. Gift tags. Did I already say that? And then you can also make, you can also punch holes and round corners. So this is like a 12-in-1 tool. I highly recommend, if you enjoy paper crafting, to grab this, because especially if you have a small space and not a lot of room, or if you like to craft on the go, this is a great tool to bring with you to a crafting session. All right, so this is the word punch board from We Are Memory Keepers, and it's similar to this in that you can punch all the letters of the alphabet, but they're smaller. They're on a much smaller scale, and you just line them up so you get all 26 letters. It's a nice capital font, and you just line them up to create whatever words you want, so you can customize things. And the cool thing is this takes care of the spacing and alignment for you, so you're not, guessing where you should line things up. So we're going to use that as well, and that's one of my favorites. So we've got a lot of great tools. You also might do well to have a ruler or maybe a cutting mat with a ruler on it, a pair of scissors. I like to use this little glue pen for if you have a fine tip glue, that would be great. Double-sided tape, craft tape is awesome. There are a whole bunch of these on Michael's website, like Tombow, I think has some. Anyway, there's a bunch of them. Also, a pencil might be handy. And I find it helpful, this isn't necessary, but I find it helpful when working with pom-poms to have a yarn needle. And that just helps you to thread those pom-poms on a string so you can hang them. But you don't have to do that. There's other ways you can do that. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to work on the garland first. So we're going to make the flag-shaped banners. And let me take you quickly on a little tour of this tool just so you can see all the different features that it has. So this is how you do it for scoring. This blade is replaceable, and all you need to do is hold up your cutting bar right there and just slide it off, and then you could slide it back on, and then it won't move anymore. This, you're going to just flip this over when you want to score so that you have a little alignment edge right there, and in the board is your scoring tool. So that's super handy. This arm extends out, so you can actually cut up to 14-inch long paper, which is really nice. I appreciate that for larger scale projects. Also down here, these pegs are for making the pom-poms and the bows and the tassels, and they come apart, and I'll show you how they work a little later on. Also on the back of the tool, let's just flip that over for a second so you can see what's there. Comes with this guide, which is for making the banners, the envelopes, and the tags. And it has measurements, so you know what size to cut your paper. And on the back, you have your instructions. So everything's on board there, easy to find. Plus, these magnets are for when you're stamping, so your paper will be stuck down and stay in place right here on the board. So let me put this back, and we will get started with the banners. All right, so for this banner, or garland, we're using the triangles, and we're going to do 4-inch banners. So when you look on here, it'll say 3-inch all the way up to 7.5 inch. That's the height of your banner from the tip here up to the top here. So we're going to cut our paper like it says here to 4 by 4 inches, which I've already done. Oh, paper, guys, I forgot to show you the paper we're using. Sorry about that. So we're using this big pack of colored cardstock. This is the Essentials pack. I recommend getting this if you're into paper crafts, just because it's such a great deal and the colors are awesome and it's easy to work with. And then this is our decorative paper. This is the Avenue paper from Recollections. And it's just a really fun set for summer. It's got, I mean, those are great for Father's Day, right? And then it's got some pretty florals, some ginghams, which is perfect for summer, butterflies, all that good stuff. And then it's also got some red, white, and blue in here, which is great, you know, for patriotic crafts, a bunch of tags you can cut apart. So this really just feels like summer to me. So I thought it would be really nice. So most of the patterns I have already pulled out, but here are some of the patterns so you can see what they look like. And there's a nice, pretty gold foil. I don't know if you can see that on some of these. That's really, really pretty. Kind of makes your projects a little extra special. All right, and then we're also going to use this pack of foil cardstock, gold foil cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 11. And I think that's it. Okay, so back to the banners. So for these banners, 4 by 4 inches, and then we're going to take this alignment guide and we're going to line that banner arrow up to on the guide to the banner arrow on the board. Say that 10 times fast. All right, and then we're going to grab the score tool, which is right here. Oh no, we don't need a score tool yet. Sorry about that. Okay, so first what we'll do is look here, 4 inches, and we cut it to 4 by 4, and then it says alignment guide 1 7/8. I know that's really teeny, but you'll be able to see it when you have it. So let's flip this back over to cutting, and we're going to line this up here. Now this is going to be the top of your banner. So this will be this end up here, just so you can keep that oriented correctly. And we're going to line this top left corner up at 1 7/8 on here. All right, and then we're going to close that cutting arm and just cut. Then what you do is you flip this upside down, keeping that top edge up there against the top, align it again at 1 7/8, and then cut. And that gets your nice banner triangle shape, perfectly even, right? And then you move over here. This is the hole punch. So there are little teeny, you probably can't see them, but there are little teeny guidelines so that you can line your banner up right at the right spot. And we'll punch on one end and then slide it over, and there's a second one right there, and then we'll punch that on the other end, and here's what you get. So there's your banner. So we're going to do, you can do as many of these as you need to depending on the space that where you want to put your garland. But I do recommend mixing up some solids in there with your patterns, just to give the eye a little bit of a place to rest, and kind of mix the red, white, and blue up a little bit, and as well as the gold foil, you know, so there's kind of a nice mix in there. And then all you need to do is take some yarn or twine. I like to put my little yarn needle on there, and you're just going to go from the top down and then up, and just keep doing that with all of them, however many you need to fill in your space that you have where you're putting this. Let me stretch this out a little bit, just so you get the idea of how that works. And I'm not going to obviously string all the ones together that I did, but that's the idea. And you just keep doing that. And to be honest with you, this is one of the easiest and the most beautiful and effective ways to decorate for a party. Like I don't know what it is about this shape and this style of garland, but it just looks really festive and fun and summery. So I'm going to pull this out so that I can show you how to string up the next banner that we're going to do. Any questions so far? I'll look in the chat right now and see if we've got any questions.
The only question we have is if you could do show how to do the triangle again for the banner.
Yes, you bet. Give me 1 second. Yes, I will cut one more piece of paper real quickly. Let me grab a scrap down here. Okay, and I'll cut the 4x4. And I mean, again, you can choose from 3x3 all the way up to 7.5 by 7.5 and do some really big ones. So it's really up to you how big you want them. But I did 4x4. Okay, so then we're going to line banner arrows together. Put that on there, and this magnetizes down. And then this is your top, and you're going to line up this left corner right there on 1 7/8 inch. Put down your arm and cut. Then we just flip it upside down. Now we line up the left corner at 1 7/8 again. And then we just cut. So hopefully that makes sense. And honestly, if you check on the We Are Memory Keepers website, there are videos there, there are digital instructions, and our YouTube channel, there are also videos for each of the features of this board, so you can see exactly how all of these different features work. Then you'll just go back and punch, find your guidelines, and punch. All right, hopefully that helps. All right, so let's move on to the next piece that we're going to do, which is the garland or the banner that has the stars, the USA, and the pom-poms. Okay, so let's start with the, 1 second, let's start with the stars. All right, so this is where your template's going to come in handy. And if you can't make this along with me, because you just got the template, that's okay, because you can always watch this back once it's posted to the YouTube channel and to the Michael's website. So, and this is really easy. This does not take, you know, this isn't a tool. This is just cutting and tracing. And so you're just going to cut out your template, I printed it on white cardstock. Like I think it's probably 40-pound, maybe 50-pound cardstock. And I just printed.
Question, Allie.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
And this will be for both the previous banner and for the star banner. What size paper piece are you trying, or roughly what size should they start off with?
For the star?
For the star and for the triangle.
Okay, for the triangle, that's a 4x4 piece you're going to start with. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, for the triangle banner, that's 4 by 4. For the star, let me grab my ruler. I think this is about 5 inches tall. Let's see, 6. So you'll need a 6-inch square piece at least. And I'm just using a scrap that I had. And you can use, any of the papers in there that you want. I'm using this cute blue one with the gold stars. So you need at least 6 inches square to do the star. Good question, thank you. And then, you're just gonna trace and whatever, and I'm not gonna take time to do that because you know how to trace and cut, but here's what I ended up with, is this nice star, okay? And then what we're gonna do is take the Works All-in-One tool and we're gonna do some scoring. And what I did is I'm gonna use this 3-inch guideline as the center of my star. And so what I did is I took a pencil and just marked down here at the bottom so that when I go to score this, because I'm going to score right down the middle from the top of that tip right down here. And I want to make sure that I've got it lined up on the right score line. So I just made a little teeny pencil mark that I can erase later on right down there so that I make sure I get that lined up properly. And then I'm just going to take my scoring tool and score from the 3-inch line down. And then I'm going to just repeat that on all of the points. Every single point on the star, all 5 is going to get a little score line going all the way down. And you can make these bigger if you want. These are just 5-inch or 6-inch for this banner. But if you want to make giant ones for Christmas, you can go really crazy and make them really big, like 12 inches or something. They're really fun. All right, one more. Okay, so we've got now score lines, all 5 points all the way down. And what you're going to do is you're just going to fold both directions. I call it mountain and valley fold. You're just going to do a mountain and a valley fold on both ones so that they're really flexible and easy to fold. And actually, you can use your score tool as a bone folder as well to get a nice crease. So that's kind of double the fun with your score tool here. All right, let's keep going. And you can also make these like 3D so that it's got both sides. You can make one and then, glue the other side on. We're not going to do that today because it's going to be up against the wall. But if you want like an ornament or something that dangles that you're going to see both sides, you can do that too. All right. And then go back and fold it this way, just get it flexible. I think I might have missed 1 or 2, or are we okay? Maybe we're okay. All right, so the reason why you want them both ways is because now you're going to figure out which direction. So each of the points are going to go up, and the middle of the points and in between the points is going to go down. So now we're going to go through and kind of redefine those creases and make sure that they're all going the right direction. I sort of pull the points together and that kind of gets it in the right shape. So there it is. Hopefully that you can see that, how that's folded. Now we need to punch some holes so we can hang it. So we're going to use our hole punch on this board. And you can't see it right now. Let me see if I can lift it up so you can kind of see. Nope. Okay. So there's a line right here. When you want to do a large tag, you're going to line it up right flush against this edge. When you want to do a small tag, there's a little teeny guideline that's horizontal right here, and it comes over here as well. And you're going to line the edge of your point up against that small tag guideline, and the tip of your point is going to be at the edge of that line, at the very end of that line. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to place this edge of my star. Doesn't matter which point you use, any of them will do. And the edge of that is going to go right against that guideline right there. It's like 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the guide there. And then the tip is going to go right at the end of the line. Okay, and hopefully you can see how that works on the board if you have it. And if not, you just watch this back and it'll make sense. And there's one of your holes. Now we're going to turn it over and do the other side of this same point. and do the same thing, except we're going to line the point of the star at the end of this side of the guideline and punch. All right, so now you've got 2 holes there. Hopefully you can see those. And so you'll do that for all of your stars, okay? I'm not going to do all of them this time because it's the same process. Now we're going to cut out some letters. All right, whoops, this tool. Here we go. Okay. So you're going to get your alphabet punch board. And for this board, you're going to cut your paper to 3 by 5. It's always 3 by 5 inches for every letter. So that's where you're going to start. So we're using the gold foil and we're going to punch USA. Now I'm going to show you all 3 of these, but you can find instructions to make every letter of the alphabet on the We Are Memory Keepers website. They have digital instructions, and the tool does come with a booklet that has instructions for all of them as well. So we'll start with the A. So we're going to put it in sideways, and there are several different guides and numbers and things, and we're just going to put it in the corner here. And we're going to punch. And then we're going to just rotate it 180 degrees. And then we're going to punch one more time. Sorry, I'm sitting really low in my chair so that you can see my face. I'm going to just stand up. It honestly works really easily. It's just that I moved my table up really high so that you could see everything. So, all right. So that's the shape we're going for with the A. Then we're going to go up here. So that's our punching. Here's our cutting portion of the board. And we're going to move this up here. And there are several guidelines here to help you make the letters. So for the A, we're just going to line it up in the bottom left corner. We're going to, oops, it shifted just a tad. And then we're going to close the arm. And then we're going to cut on this line and this line, starting right at this cross section here, this cross point. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. Don't do that. Oh my gosh, I was making the U. You know what? Let's go ahead and make the U since I already did that. Because that's how you make the U. So you'll basically start with the same thing for the U and the A. For the U, you're going to go all the way across, just like that, okay? In fact, you don't even need to do that second punch for the U, all right? Now, if you do find that there are, you know, the alignment isn't perfect, it's going to be because the paper size wasn't cut perfect. Because this board, everything is designed so that it all lines up perfectly for a perfect 3 by 5 paper. So obviously I did not cut this perfectly to 3 by 5. So all you need to do is grab a pair of scissors and just kind of trim a little bit. So there we go. All right. And then all you need to do is use this punch. It has 2 sides to it. This side is for rounding. And you're going to round that part. And then you're going to round that part, and there is your U. I apologize for that. I was making U's and A's all day, and I just got into the U mode and just kept going. But you, thank goodness, you start the same way, so it really doesn't matter. So there's your U. Now let's do the A, and you're going to start the same way. Put this in the top left corner, punch. Rotate it around 180 degrees, punch. Let me clean up this mess down here. And then we'll go back up here, do the same thing, put this in the bottom left corner, bring down the arm, except this time we're going to leave that crossbar and we're just going to cut out the bottom here. The A is on its side right now, so hopefully you can kind of see how that's coming together. See how that's going to be. Now we're just going to trim a little bit right there. Again, I didn't quite get it to exactly 3 by 5, but you can just trim it up. All right, and then let's punch the rounder over here. And there's your A. Okay, got a little teeny bit up here that I want to trim off. Probably need my mini scissors for that. All right, so there's that. Now let's do the S. The S is really fun to watch come together. So for the S, you're going to start with your paper upside down, and we're going to start with it vertical. So, and we're going to line it up on this number 2 guideline right there and against the edge here. And then we're going to punch. Then we're going to rotate 180 degrees and do the same thing. Line it up here on the number 2 guideline, up flush against the edge there, and punch. Okay, so that's what we've got to work with. And then we're going to put it in here. Well, first, actually, we're going to do this. We're going to cut these out. Let's start there, and then we'll do the other cut. Okay, so put this in the middle here. Slice and slice. Oh, I got that one pretty good. Okay, and then rotate 180 back in the bottom left corner. And then slice and slice. All right, now we can do the horizontal cuts. So here's a 1/2 inch guideline right here. You're going to line up the edge against these guidelines and put the bottom here on the 1/2 inch line. And we're just going to cut this tip off up here at the top. And we're going to rotate 180 degrees and do the same thing on the other side. Line this against the edge here and the bottom along the, oops, that's the 1 inch, bottom along the 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch line right there. And we're just going to take off that little tip there. Okay. All right, see how that's looking now? All we have to do is round some corners. So we're just going to stick that in there. And then to round this one, you kind of lift up this bottom edge, put that straight edge against there and slide it in. So it goes in all the way. Same thing with this one. Goes in all the way. And then we'll do the top one, and that's our last corner to round. And then you've got your S. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so again, all the letters of the alphabet. These are 5 inches tall, about 3 inches wide. Your M and your W are going to be 5 because you're going to put two 3-inch pieces together for those. But it's a really fun tool to have. Again, like if you like to do party decor, this is great for doing custom banners because you can say anything you want to say with these. You can say happy birthday and then put a name. You can say, you know, congratulations, happy retirement, whatever you want to say. It's awesome. Okay, so now to be able to hang this, we need to punch some holes. So again, we pull over our the works tool and use our hole punch. Now we're just going to kind of catch the top there. One there. And one there. Okay, I don't need to be necessarily perfect, but pretty close to even. This one, we're going to kind of start farther to that way and then scoot over to the S. And then the U is easy. You just put one at the tip of each of these. And I'm using the small tag guideline just to get those kind of close to the top there. And just centering it. There is a centering feature here up to 3 inches, so that really helps centering things. Okay, so those are ready to go. We've got holes at the top and they're ready to go. So now we have our star, we have our letters, all we need is pom-poms. So let's see, let's do a blue pom-pom. And you're gonna grab these pegs down here. And so for the pom-poms, these are where you're going to place your pom-poms. And the closer together you place them, the smaller the bow or the tassel. The further apart you place them, the larger the bow or the tassel or the pom-pom, whatever you're making, okay? So for this particular one, we're going to put this one in C and this one in H. As long as you have 4 holes in between the 2 pegs, anywhere on here is fine. Just make sure there are 4 empty pegs between. And then I like to unravel quite a bit of yarn to start with so that I can keep wrapping. Now, I'm sure, I don't know, some of you probably have made pom-poms before, but the trick here is the more you wrap the yarn, the fuller the pom-pom is going to be. So it's really up to you. Some people like to have pom-poms that aren't quite as full. Some people, maybe I'll move this over here. like to have super full pom-poms. So it really depends on your personal preference. So all you're going to do is just wrap around and around and just go and go and go. And again, this makes tassels, this makes bows. It can make single loop bows, double, triple, quadruple loop bows. So it's really handy to have, especially for gift wrap and that kind of fun stuff. Pom-poms are really hot in the craft industry for all kinds of things. So this is a great tool to have as well. All right, so we're going to keep going a little bit fuller here. Now I'm not going to make this as full as I did the ones on my garland because it takes a little bit more time than we have today because we just have the hour and there's quite a bit we need to do for the party. But I would keep wrapping and wrapping. Let's see, let me do just a few more and then I'll be about halfway and then I would do twice as much as what I'm doing here. I love really full pom-poms. So I would say, let me see if I can tilt this up so you can see about how much that is. You see that? I would do maybe twice that much. Just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. So that's so you can get an idea, okay? But we can still see how it works by using this here. Okay, so you're going to cut off the end and then you're going to cut, I don't know, maybe a 12-inch piece to tie around the middle. So you're going to go underneath all of the pieces you wrapped and pull that up and then just tie it as tightly as you can in a square knot, which is right over left and then left over right. That's going to be the most secure knot for this particular craft. Get that nice and tight. Okay, then all you need to do is pull this up off the pegs. And this is what you've got. So it kind of almost looks like a bow, right? So then the next step is to cut these loops. Cut all of the loops on each side. So you're going to want a good sharp pair of fabric scissors for this so that you can cut right through all those loops. I think I got them all. Yep. Okay, so other side. And we'll just go all the way across. Get all those loops. All right. Whoops. One more. Okay, I think we're good. Yes. Okay. So let's put these away for now. And then I'll show you how to cut your pom-pom. Whoops, that's because I'm trying to put them in the wrong one. Okay, let me put my score tool away before I lose it because I tend to lose things on my messy desk. Okay. So I'm going to cut right over here just so that I can easily dump this in the trash. But basically, you're just going to give it a haircut. And you're just going to keep cutting. I kind of go around in a circle all the way around. And then I'll turn it just a little bit this way. And then go around again and kind of match up the ones that I already cut with the new ones. Go all the way around. Oh, I did miss, no, I didn't miss one. Okay, good. And then turn it just a little bit more and go all the way around again. And I just keep doing that process. Now, if you've done twice as much, you know, like I recommend doing, you're going to have a whole lot more to cut. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's the same process to get everything straight. And then just go a little bit further and just keep doing that, going around until you get everything even. And honestly, the tighter in you go towards the center, the fuller your pom-pom is going to be. So I usually try to make a pom-pom maybe an inch larger than what I want it to end up with, if it's going to be a really full one, because you're going to cut into it quite a bit to get that fullness. So this is kind of a less full pom-pom, which is fun for, you know, certain kind of looks if you like the shabby chic kind of look. And then I usually give it a little rub, fluff it around, and there's a pom-pom. So this is, again, I would normally do these twice as full for me. That's my personal taste, but that's the idea. All right, and this pom-pom, I think, is about 2.5 inches. Yep, that's what we were going for. So about 2.5 inches across is what you're going for this garland. So then let's go ahead and put everything together on the string. I'll show you how to string these up so we can make that garland. Again, I've got my yarn and my yarn needle, and it's threaded through. And again, the garland can be whatever size you want it to be. This one, you know, I did this one a little smaller than the other one, but it's really up to you how long you want it to be, how many pom-poms and stars you want to have on it, what letters you want to have on there. You could spell out America, you know, or whatever, 4th of July. So what I'm going to do is the pom-poms are on the end, so that's going to go first. Now you're going to dig through here until you find that yarn that you tied around the middle, so you know where the center is. That's what I usually try to do, is there. Okay, so you can see that center yarn right there. We're going to go right in this way, so it goes right in through that center yarn. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And then just pull. All right, so that's going to go. I did 3 on each side, red, white, and blue. So, but again, it's up to you. And then next I did stars, and I actually did, you know, I alternated colors. So right now I'm putting blues together, but I would recommend alternating, you know, red, white, and blue and that kind of thing, so your colors aren't right next to each other. And we're just going to go down through that side and then up through the other side. All right, and again, you'll put multiples on here. And then the letters, we got to go U first, down, and then back up. Let's slide that over a little bit. And then our S. Well, the S is a little bit tricky because it's hard to get that hole too far over this way. So if you have any issues with it hanging crooked, which I think this will be okay. Let me just take a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can go through and just add a little bit of glue underneath the yarn right there, so that the string stays straight, so that the S is perfectly even. But I think this works just fine. It looks good. So then we'll go through the A, and then you would do the same thing, except you would do it backwards, and you would add star and then pom-poms. So hopefully you get the idea there. And then be sure you leave a good foot or so on the end, maybe 1.5 feet to tie, you know, it on to wherever you're going to tie it to. And I highly recommend using command hooks to hang banners, and then use either the clear ones or the white ones, depending on the color of your walls. Those are my very favorite because they do no damage. You can remove them later, and they last forever, you know, for however long you need them for the party. So, okay, let's move on. Let's see what's next here. Box. Let's do our little favor boxes. Okay, this is really fun. Now, this board comes with instructions for making a ton of stuff, right? All the tabs, all that good stuff. Let me see if I can get some of that lint off. Okay. The one thing we're going to make in this class that is not included in the instructions for this board is the box. So you may want to take some notes, or, you know, when you watch this back later, you might want to take some notes, because this is not going to be in the instructions for the Works All-in-One tool. So this is going to be a small box. It ends up being 2 inches, like a 2-inch cube, right? So the paper size you need to cut for this small box is 6 by 6. All right. So cut your paper to 6 by 6 to make the 2-inch box. We're going to grab our score tool, and I'm going to flip this over so that scoring is a little easier. Have a little edge to put my paper up against. And then what I like to do is put this blade up here at the top, and it stops and won't come down, so it stays out of the way. All right, so then we're going to score the 6 by 6 paper here. We're going to score at 2 inches. And then again at 4 inches. All right, so 6 by 6 paper, score at 2 and 4, and then rotate 90 degrees and score again at 2 and 4. Okay, so you've got a nice little grid there, 2-inch squares all the way across, 9 of those. Okay, you can't probably see that but there you go. Okay, next we're gonna get our guide. And this is gonna help us to make the corners of the box so they bend inward. So we're gonna put this on the envelope setting for the envelope arrows. And then we're going to take the box, or the paper that's going to be the box, and I'm gonna flip this over so I can have a flat area here. And we're going to use these points, the top and the bottom points, and line them up on the 2-inch line. See, that 2-inch line is right next to the edge of this guide here. We're going to put that point directly in the center of that 2-inch guide. Okay, the 2-inch score line. And that should automatically line up down at the bottom here because of the angle that you've got this at. Okay, so that will be the 2-inch mark there and the 2-inch mark there. Whoops. Okay, so then we're going to score from the point here down to the cross section of the 2 score lines right there. That's where those 2 score lines meet. Same thing at the bottom. From the cross section of those 2 score lines, we're going to go there and straight down to the tip right here. Okay, then rotate 90 degrees, same thing again. Line those points up on the 2-inch line and make sure that this is flush against this edge here so that it's exactly at the right angle. And then score from the point down to the cross section of the 2 score lines and from the cross section down to the point. Okay, so now hopefully you can kind of see that. We've got a grid, of 9 2-inch squares, and then the outer ones on all the corners have a diagonal line. Okay, so that's what we're going for. So now let's do some folding. So we're going to fold all of the horizontal score lines, or vertical, I guess, whichever way you're holding it, and crease those. And then we're going to fold these diagonal lines, and we're going to go inward towards the direction that the other folds are going. And just crease those. So you're going to crease this diagonal line as well as these corner lines again, just to kind of keep that paper flexible. And one more. All right, so that is the idea. So you can hopefully see that, how that looks. Okay, now we're going to grab our adhesive. I recommend using a nice, strong, permanent double-sided tape. And we're just going to do it on the corner there and then fold that together. And then you'll notice that that's, let's see if I can show you that. It's such a dark color, huh? There we go. You see that little piece sticking out there? We're going to put some adhesive on the back of that flap, and we're going to fold it up against the side. Okay, so that's what I'm doing so you can see really well, hopefully. Adhesive, and I'm going across the diagonal, kind of right against that diagonal. And then, let's see, fold it up against the side there. Hopefully you can see that it's now folded up against the side, okay? And we're going to repeat that process on all of these corners, except each corner is going to go the same direction so that they're not overlapping each other. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll try to show you how that looks with them going. Okay, so let's see if I can get you a good view of that. It's going to get hard with the shadows here. So see, we've got 2 up against the side, going the same direction. Same thing on the last 2 here. There we go. It just gets a little hard to put this flat down on your surface, so I use my hand. You could use, you know, a book or something to put something behind there. And then little adhesive on the flap. And push it up against the side. And then last one. All right. Okay. Another adhesive that works well for this kind of project is like a hot glue gun. That works really well for folding paper as well. So, sorry, trying to find where. So there's a little box. Isn't that cute? Whoops, I missed a little bit right there. Let's get a little bit of adhesive right there. Okay. Super cute, right? Okay, so now the lid. And that's a great way to put like little, I don't know, candies or whatever inside there. Okay. Or maybe a little bit of those, a few of those pops, you know, that you throw down and they pop on the ground. Okay, so for the lid, I've cut this to 4 1/4 inches square. 4 1/4 inches, okay? That's for your lid. And we're gonna start by scoring. So 4 1/4 inch square, and we're gonna score at 1 inch, and then again at 3 1/4 inches. So that's basically an inch in from each edge, okay? And then rotate 90 degrees, again, 1 inch, 3 1/4. So you have an inch off of each side, okay? And then we're gonna do the same thing. It's basically the same idea as the box to get the diagonal folds on the corners. Let's flip this over. And so we're gonna line this up here, envelope to envelope, and put the point right at the 2 inch score line there. And make sure it's flush up against the edge so that it's at the right angle. And then tip or point to the crisscross there, crisscross down to point. And then again, rotate all the way around, 90 degrees. Line that up. Okay, and then just score that diagonal line. And score that diagonal line. Okay, same process now with the folding and creasing. We're going to fold the horizontal folds first and crease those. All right, and then we do our diagonals. And then I'm not going to go through the adhesive process again, because that takes a while, but I will. It's the same process with those flaps. You're going to do the same thing and put those up against the edge, you know, the inside edges. And then I'll just show you how it looks with everything assembled. So you can see how cute that is. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So cute. And then all I did, here I'll grab my finished one so you can see. All I did was I did red and white yarn together and tied it around. And then I tied it in a square knot at the top and cut the ends really small. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make the tassel and we're gonna make the tag, and I'll show you how to do both of those, okay? So that's how your little boxes are gonna turn out. They're really cute, super fun. All right, so let's go ahead and make a tassel. All right, so I'm going to just use, you can pull these apart and I'm just going to use these. Now for the tassel, I'm going to put one in E and one in H. So this time all you need is 2 empty holes in between your pegs. That's about the right size. So let's see, I'll grab some red. Well, yeah, we'll just do red. But I like to kind of mix up the colors, you know, so there's all three, like red, white, and blue on each one. Now for tassels, you don't need to wrap as many times. You know, it just depends on how full you want your tassel, obviously, but you really don't need to go crazy on these, especially with the yarn, because the yarn is pretty full anyways. So that's going to give you a nice full tassel. It's really cute with twine too. If you ever want to do a twine tassel, that turns out really cute. Then I'm going to cut two, probably about 8-inch strands. Okay. One is going to go down through the middle from the top to the bottom. And then I'm going to pull it out the side here. And then I'm going to pull this up to the top right here. And I'm going to tie that in a double knot. This is to help you attach your tassel to your project, whatever you're working on, whatever you're adding tassels to. So double knot, right over left, left over right. And then we're going to use the next piece to go all underneath. And then we wrap this around, 3 or 4 times. You can use a contrasting color here if you'd like. That would, like, maybe white or blue. That would be really fun. It's up to you. All right, and then we're going to tie this in a square knot, right over left, left over right. And then I usually kind of like to pull that up so that it's right up against this peg, the part I just wrapped around. And then I slide it off. All right, so you can kind of see how that's going to look. And then I cut, see, this is the top where we're going to tie it on, and then we're going to cut all of these loops down at the bottom there. And then I just trim so that everything is exactly the same length. Pull it all together, just give it a little haircut. And there's a tassel, okay? And if you have anything like I see a little bit poking up kind of right there, you can sort of pull that down and just kind of straighten everything out. And then, so that you would use to tie on to the top of the box up here where you tied your knots. And then let's go ahead and make a quick tag. Get the yarn off of here. Dump that in the trash. Okay. So this is a tiny tag. You can make a tag of any size you want with this board. So you don't have, and it can be any width, it can be any length. It's entirely up to you. This is 1 inch by 2 inches, so it's kind of a little one. So you're going to line up the tag arrow on the guide to the tag arrow on the board. And then you can line this up wherever you'd like. You're just basically cutting off the corner. So it depends on how deep you want that corner to be cut. So I'm going to line this up for me. I like it at 1 3/8 for this particular size tag. And then I'm just going to slice, flip this over, line the bottom up again at 1 3/8, and then go down and slice. So there's the cute little tag. And then we just need to punch a hole. And this is a small tag, so you're going to use that small tag guideline. You're not going to put it all the way back to the back. You're just going to put it right to that guideline and then use the centering feature here to center it at 1 inch. And then there's your little hole, okay? Isn't that the cutest little tag? And then you can write on the back, you can write your guest's name, or you can say, you know, thanks for coming, or whatever you want to say. All right, so that's the box. Let me show you again just the 3 different looks we have here. So we've got red, white, and blue, and I threw in a little bit of craft that comes in your cardstock pack. That's kind of fun just to break it up a little bit to get a little something different in there. But anyway, there's the idea. All right, so last, let's work on these cute little utensil holders, okay? This is a great way to keep things sanitary and hygienic, you know, and so nobody's grabbing in all the forks or the spoons or whatever. Everybody has their own little setup here. So we'll go ahead and make the envelope first. And let me grab my pieces for this. All right, so for the envelope, again, everything's right here on the board. It's so handy. So I wanted to make a 3 by 5 envelope. So I look at 3 by 5. It tells me to cut my paper to 6.5 inches square, 6.5 by 6.5, and then I line it up on the alignment guide at 2.5. So I've already cut this to 6.5 square, 6.5 by 6.5. And then we're going to line up the envelope arrows. And then if you remember, it says to align it at 2.5. That's what we've got up here on the chart over here. Okay, 2.5. So that's your little left corner right there. That's at 2.5. Then we take our score tool, whoop, and we don't drop it. Hopefully you guys won't. Let me grab that. My dog, it startled my dog. My little Yorkie is down under the table in her bed, and that kind of surprised her. So she's awake now. All right, 2.5. And then we score along the 2-inch line right here, all the way down. Rotate 90 degrees, and then we use the score line we just made as our guide, and there's a score guide right here, and we just line that up on the score guide, and then we just score at 2 inches. Oops, all the way down. Do that one more time. I didn't press very hard. There we go. Okay. Then again, we line that up on the score guide, the line we just did. Line that up on the score guide and 2 inches. And then again, same process. This is our last one. Oops. Okay. So let me see if I can show you those score lines. We've got a nice rectangle in there. Okay. All right. So rotate this board around. This is your envelope punch. This is a double punch or reverse punch. It's got the envelope notch right here, and then it's got the corner rounder back here. So for the envelope notches, you're going to find the cross section of your 2 score lines and just fit that in. And there are guides right on the board and another guide on the punch. So you can line that score line up right against that little piece that sticks out there. That's a great little guide. Just do that and see how that makes a little notch there. You're going to do that all the way around, all 4 sides at the score lines where they cross each other. Okay, and then I am actually not going to round the corners for this project. Well, I didn't before, but tell you what, I'll do it so you can see what it looks like, just so you can see. That kind of just gives it a nice professional finished look. But for this project, because the utensils are kind of covering up that tip anyways, I didn't, but you could totally do that. So up to you. All right, so we're actually going to do something a little different for making this envelope than what is in the directions, because we want it to look like a utensil holder. So I'm going to use my bone folder here, crease these sides, and we're going to fold them over, and then we're going to make a little bit of an adjustment. Let me grab my large scissors. All right, so right here where these cross over, I'm going to just trim this point off right along that line where they, from the point to the point. Hope that makes sense. Just straight up. Okay, so that way you've got a flush line right there. Okay, and then for the bottom flap, this is going to be your bottom flap. Let me fold that over and crease it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut a teeny bit off that tip. I think it's probably about 1/4 of an inch. Hopefully you can see that. That's hardly anything. Just cut straight right there. Okay, so that just gives it kind of a different look than your typical envelope, which I kind of like. All right, so then we're going to add our adhesive. We're going to put some here. Oops. Let's see, I think it's a little bit stuck. There we go. All right, and then a little bit down here. There we go. Fold that over, fold that up, and there's your little envelope. Okay, and your utensils are going to go in there and your napkin. All right, and then we're going to make a belly band real quick. So basically, here's the it's 2 by 8 inches for the belly band. And then I usually just, I mean, you can score this if you want to, but I usually just go ahead and fold it right around so it fits nicely right around. But you could totally score that, you know, just make sure you leave 3 inches. I think it's actually a little more than 3 inches across there, but Anyway, and then I would add some adhesive back here. Okay, there's one layer. And then the next layer we're going to do is we're going to punch out the letters USA. So here's our word punch board. I've got USA lined up, and I used the center line here and put the S right on the center line, and then the U and the A on either side of it. This is a 5/8 inch tall strip of paper. Okay, that's the perfect height to get these letters centered right in the middle there. So 5/8 inch and then 8 inches long. Okay, 8 inches long and 5/8 of an inch tall. And I'm just going to line this up and center it, just eyeball it so that I make sure like basically the same amount is hanging over the edge there. Okay, and there's a little guide that you can line the top edge up in there so you can get it nice and straight. And then we're just going to go down and punch. Ta-da! Super cool, right? Again, you can spell anything you want. And if you need to do a word that has double letters, there are instructions on our YouTube channel to do that, but you can easily do that, so not a problem. And then here's the fun thing, guys, is down here at the bottom, you can open this bottom up and it catches your letters. Maybe I can, there we go. So I'm gonna dump out the USA. Oops, that got stuck there. There we go. And we're gonna use those in just a second. Okay, so save your little letters so you can use I call it the negative and the positive. So the negative is what you have left after you punch, and the positive are the letters that come out. Okay, so save those. All right, so then to make this show up really nicely, I just cut a 1/2 by 2 inch strip. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on either side of these letters and just back that with the white so that you can really see those letters nicely. See how that pops now? That looks really cool. And then same thing, just wrap this around, fold it over, and put adhesive on the back. You know the drill, how that works. And then you're ready to slide in your napkin and utensils. Super cute. Okay, last one, we're gonna do the cupcake wrap and toppers. So the toppers are actually just banners, 3-inch banners. So I've already done that. I'll just cut out one real quick so you can kind of see how to put the stick in. So let's see, 3-inch banner, 1 1/8. So we lined it up at 1 1/8. Cut.
We did have a question, Allie. Is if that guide that you're using and lining it up with, if that is available separately?
No, that's included with the board. Good question. That's included with the board, and it actually stores on the back here. It just slides right in. Oh, upside down. Slides right in there. So it comes with the board, with the magnets, with the score tool, with everything. So it's really an all-in-one. You've got everything you need. So good question. Thank you. Any other questions? Is that it for now?
I think that's it for now.
Perfect. Okay. So again, we'll punch the holes by lining up on the banner guide with the hole punch there. All right. And then what I did is I turned it on its side and I just cut a bamboo skewer in half because the bamboo skewers are food grade, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I just threaded it through those holes, okay? And then I added those teeny letters. Can you see those? Hopefully you can. And I used a fine tip glue. Let me show you which glue I used. But any glue that has a liquid glue that has a fine tip, this is a Zig pen. This comes in 3 different sizes, but this is the fine tip. And it's a roller pen. So it's great for little teeny, you know, die cuts and little teeny things. So that's how you do that. And last, let's do the wrap. Now the wrap, this is just kind of, I just kind of made it up on my own. But so what I did is I took a white piece of cardstock and I just used a plate, right? And I just traced around and then I moved it down and traced around and then, you know, just added lines, and then I cut that out, okay? And then I trace that, this is another piece of cardstock, and then I trace that on the back of the pattern paper. And that's how you make your cupcake wraps. And that's a really easy way to do it. And that way you can make it as wide or as thin as you want. You know, it's really up to you depending on the size of your cupcake. But all you need to do is just add some adhesive on the end here and just line up those edges. I usually leave put about an inch overlap. And there's your cupcake wrap. I'm gonna grab that one again so you can kind of see how cute that turns out. And it doesn't have a bottom, so you can easily take that off. So sometimes when you have cupcake wraps that go all the way around the cupcake, it's a little hard to work with. Like, it's hard to get that cupcake out, right? You can't get your fingers in there. So when you make these and they don't have a bottom, you can just push up from the bottom and your cupcake pops right out. So super easy. All right. I think we got through everything. Let me just double check and make sure. Yes, we did. Awesome. Let's go back to the front camera, please, if you don't mind. Great. So if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask. But I think we're probably good. I don't see any. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. So many great projects. Thank you. Honestly, out of anything you learned today, I hope that this is what you take away. This tool is so worth the investment. It can do so many different things. I didn't even touch the file tabs. I didn't do bows. You know, I mean, there's a whole slew of things that I didn't do that you can do with this board. So that's definitely a great investment. So thanks so much. Be sure. I always love your videos. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you. And be sure to check out the YouTube channel or the Michael's website. This will be popped up in the next little bit here. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'm on Instagram at Allie Dosdell, and you can send me a message and ask me any questions if you're, you know, making this and something comes up. So thanks so much. Have a great day. I'll see you next time, guys.